Hi, everybody. It's me, Carol, from Healthcare Potholes with Christian Faith. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what's going on today in my devotion with Christ. Um, as I was going through my Pinterest and going through my email to check to see if I had anything from anybody of importance, I went to the Christian sites that pop up because I just love them. And I am on a devotion website from Jesus. And I just said I had to join that just to see what it was like. And of course, as you know, my life has been really crazy. And so I decided I would join it and follow it. And there was also another site that I had that we're going to talk about as well. So I'm going to kind of keep this a little quick video clip. But this is very important that I wanted to share. As you know, um, when my mom was alive, her and I used to go to the casinos for something to do. She found it really hard sometimes to go shopping with her scooters and get in and out of aisles to look at clothing. So we decided to go to the casinos, and we would usually hit the machines on the outer side and play them. But we always just took a set amount, and that's what we used. And so I sort of got sick and tired of going, to be honest with her. And I said to her one day, I'm not going back to the casino anymore. We're just wasting money. And I feel that God doesn't want us to do that. I don't know what it was. But I stayed with buying lottery tickets. And when I do scratch offs, I might win 10 or 50 bucks, but nothing outrageous. One time I did do a pick four numbers, and I won $200. I thought I was living good then, but I never really won an exorbitant amount. So that was God's way of telling me, do not gamble. It's not worth it. Put your money towards the church and tie to the church. Then when I heard Joel Osteen last Sunday say, you need to tie to the church, but they never expand on why you need to tie to the church. Okay? So I got thinking as I was watching The Chosen a while back. They were selling animals to uh, on the road to the temple, and Jesus was mad, and he tipped all the tables over, and said that they weren't supposed to do that. There was another scene where they were gambling, and he was mad, and he tipped the tables over. I don't want to upset Jesus and God. So I'm going to tell my brother no more lottery tickets. As hard as it's going to be, no more lottery tickets. We're going to be putting our money towards the church that we have. Our little $5 or $10. I think they will take that and be blessed to have that in these hard times. And I think that's what God's telling me. So I went into this devotion today, and you're going to laugh at this. I got to put my glasses down, so excuse my hair flying all over the place with my glasses down because I always keep it up as a headband. Um, it says, turn to me in time of difficulties. Okay, now this was my devotion today from Jesus. Okay, turn to me in time of difficulties. Well, we are going through difficult times with finances and health. I shall be your guide and make a way for you. In other words, he's going to spread the Red Sea for me to be able to walk through it. Okay. Now, I'm just saying he's making a path, like spreading the Red Sea like he did, so they could go across. And it says, I am always with you, and I will deliver you from your struggles. Now, he knows what our struggles are, and paying our bills. He knows that. Lean on me and not your own strength, meaning you can't carry the weight of all this, Carol. You have to lean on me. And he reminded me that when I had my kidney infection, which I still do, I'm on a different antibiotic. I was so weak, I couldn't go from point A to point B without feeling like I was going to just fall on the floor. And he was reminding me he was strong and I was weak. And I kept hearing that. And I knew that was from God. I am strong, but you're weak. Lean on me, kiddo, basically. And it says, honor me with your wealth. And I thought, "Oh boy, that's hitting me. Okay." And I always said if I won the lottery, I would tie to my brother's churches. They have what's called apportionments that they have to pay, and a lot of the churches are behind in their apportionments. And I always said, well, if I won the lottery, God, I would divide it up among all these churches. The ones that my brother had was one of the churches that was his favorite, and I would ask his you know his former wife who that would be. I would ask, one that my mom and dad went to where they were married, donate to them, and I would donate to the church in Genesee where my dad was a boy, and then I would turn around and donate to our Fenton church and our Newburgh church. So those were the ones that I was, going to tie to help cover their apportionments. And if we won the lottery, and I kept telling God that I would do that. And I think he knows that, but God is against gambling, and I'm going to tell you why. Gambling involves betting with your money. The two possible outcomes are either you win more money or you lose it all. And he has shown me time over time again, I'm going to lose it. If I gamble, I'm going to lose it. He has shown me that because I haven't won. I've had a number here, a number there, but I never hit big. That's not what he wants. And it says, my child, instead of using your money in gambling activities, use your wealth to honor me. Now, I don't have a lot, so he won't be getting a lot. But, you know, maybe $5, that would be about all I could afford, to be honest. And I can't even really afford that. But if I have to squeak together $5 to honor God, I'm going to try to do it. It says, honor me by offering your money to fund activities that please God, such as building churches or funding church activities. Use your wealth in my service, and I will be sure to bless you more abundantly. He will bless us more abundantly than what the gambling would have covered, or you won at the gambling tables. Gambling does not guarantee your money provision as it involves risking of losing everything, whereas using your wealth in my honor guarantees more provision and blessing. Okay, guarantees more provision and blessing. That is so true. Invest your wealth in me through tithes and helping others. Okay, so he wants you to help others as well as tie into the church if you can. Yeah. So then I continued on. Now this just I never knew what really covenant was. Thou shalt not covet. That's one of the 10 commandments. And it says gambling involves exploitation I can never say it. Exploiting. Gambling involves exploiting and coveting, okay, which are against my commandments. Okay, so he doesn't want you to gamble because it's exploitation and it's coveting. And it says, when struggling with finances, turn to God first. Worrying not, God will provide. So he doesn't want you to worry. He will provide for you. And I've heard that time and time again that God will provide. Well, Ecclesiastics has a different spin on things in 5:10. It says, he who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves wealth with his income. This is also vanity. So he's letting you know what the pitfalls are. The pitfalls are gambling. Yeah, buying lottery tickets is gambling. Um, Loving your income from your job and not tying to the church is a problem. Yeah. And is income, this is also vanity. So if you love your income, that's a problem. And also, if you love money, you will never be satisfied with it. You will want more and more and more. And that is probably why people are stealing from stores and different things right now, is because they don't have that Christian heart. Okay. And so one of the first things in the Bible comes to mind is thou shalt not steal and thou shalt not covet. Those things both involve monies. So God is not happy when we gamble. And I thought that very interesting. So we have to think about that as we go through our Christian walk. Not to buy that raffle ticket, not to buy anything that has to do with gambling. I think the Baptist Church is against gambling as well. Um, I think they have one of the things that you can't wear makeup and you can't gamble and you can't, I don't know. I thought I heard that, but maybe I'm wrong. If I am, let me know. But I just thought that was kind of interesting that that devotion would be there in my box for today, because God is letting me know, because my brother's gone in and bought the lottery tickets. I think I wandered in one time here not too long ago and got them, and we hit the Powerball. But I don't think God's going to let me hit the big time lottery, because every time it gets up there, it always goes to a different state, and it's never our state. But 3 people in Michigan did hit some of the big ones. So this last time, but it wasn't us. Unfortunately, it wasn't us. It was someone Lansing, someone up north, and someone out west in Michigan. It wasn't around here where I live. So the other thing that I thought was interesting that I came across was a lady talking about the prayer of Daniel. Brought back about when Daniel visited my mom in the hospital back in 2017, right after she had coded, and I was in the room waiting for the doctors to come in to let me know what the next step was in my mom's care. And Daniel walks in the room and says, "Hi, this is Danny Cashmere. I'm here to give you a message that your mom's rhythm wasn't in her will." And he denounced that like 3 times. I tried to find out what it was. Being a nurse, he said, "Don't concern yourself. I just wanted to let you know her rhythm wasn't in her will." He was the messenger from God, and he definitely was Daniel from the lion den. Now Daniel, interestingly, was a slave way back when, and he worked himself up to a prince, and he definitely was in the lion den. And he has a prayer that helps people out. And he didn't give me that prayer that day, but this lady, Amanda Ross is her name. She has a group of books out, and she has these 4 sentences called the Prayer of Daniel. And she also has a book about Daniel as well. And it'd be interesting to talk to her about my incident with Daniel and see what she has to say. But she had a car accident. Her and her husband were arguing, and he flipped the car over, hitting a curb. And in that accident, and I thought, oh, she's going to talk about an afterlife experience. No, she didn't. Her husband was in a coma. She was just banged up and bruised. And she was sitting at his bedside, and she got a call that the rent hadn't been paid for 3 months, and they were going to kick him out in 11 days. And I think she probably told the guy that she was sitting at her husband's bedside, that he was in a coma from a car accident, and that's why the rent hadn't been paid and whatnot. And she didn't say how long he had been in a coma or anything, but she was very stressed after getting the phone call, which I can imagine, because with being sick, it's kind of the same way with my brother and I, and trying to find jobs and whatnot. And so she goes outside and she walks down the road. And as she's walking, she finds a bookstore called Heaven on Earth. And she thought, well, that sounds interesting. I think I'll go in there. So she went in there. Now, this is an area she probably wasn't too familiar with. So she goes into the bookstore, and in there, there's the Archangel Michael. She didn't know that was an Archangel Michael at the time. She just saw someone who was, looked very polite and had a royal blue shirt on and blonde hair and blue eyes. And he seemed to speak in a robust voice to her, and he talked to her, and, she was unloading to him, and he said to her, about this prayer. He says, when I'm troubled, I go to this prayer, but you will be fine. And he says, and your family will help you out. So he also was a messenger from God. And, so the prayer that she left, which was a prayer of Daniel, which I thought was interesting, and I'm going to read it a few times. Hear, O God, my prayers. Look in favor at my pain. Look in favor of my pain. At my pain. Look in favor at my pain. Hear and act. Don't delay, for I bear your name. Okay, so hear, O God, my prayers. Look in favor at my pain. Hear and act. Don't delay, for I bear your name. Okay, though that was a prayer that she prayed. And she also said that he said, your family will save you. And so she went home, and on the way home, she bought a lottery ticket. Yeah, do not gamble. Yeah, so she bought a lottery ticket. She played her kids' birthdays, their ages, I think it was. One was 3, one was 7, and one was 14. So she played those four numbers, and she hit the fourth prize. So she was very happy with that. That was enough to cover their apartment, to save their apartment and their utilities and all that while her husband was recovering. And so God has angels that help us out in need as well. And you just have to be open for what they're going to do in your life. And she says, you have to have a positive mind. If you have a negative mind and you think negative about everything, then you're never going to get out of debt. You're never going to get past your health issues. You're never going to. So you have to start thinking positive. And I don't know how much to stress this, but you have to have a positive attitude, love and peace and nurturing. Help the vibrant wings of the angel come to you in abundance as well, as she claims through the Archangel Michael. And um, she's got some books out like Divine Hearing, Divine Numbers, Prayers of Daniels, Settling My Debt. Those are all her books that she has out on the market. Amanda Ross. And I thought, one of the things she said is you have to take 20 minutes a day for 4 days to just let go of your emotions and start writing a devotion down. And she says if you write devotions down and you stay positive in those 20 minutes in your devotions, then things will start changing in your mind and you'll start having better, I don't want to say better luck, but the outcomes will be better in your life. They'll be more favorable in your life. So instead of saying, um, I won't do that or I can't do that, have the positive aspect on things. And if people know me, I'm a very positive person. However, I'm a realistic person when I say there is a reason that I can't do something. Like, I'm in a walker, someone says climb a ladder. What's the first thing I'm going to say? I can't climb that ladder because I'm in a walker and I'm too unsteady and my legs don't go over the other leg to climb. If they did, I would do that. So I'm spinning a positive thing on it. So now, should I say, when I'm better, I can climb the ladder? Or should I say, I can't climb the ladder. It's going to be when I'm better, I will be able to climb that ladder. So you have to have a positive thing on it, you know. Um, Now I can try, if you hold the ladder, I might be able to go 1 foot in front of the other, but I would have to have someone really steady in the ladder and me to make sure that I don't fall. So I just found that these two, the devotion and the other thing I found about Daniel's prayers, and that there's a book out about Daniel, and it's not just the book in the Bible about Daniel, it's a little more than that. I thought was very interesting, and I really like the fact that she had a prayer out that says, the prayer of Daniel, "Hear, O God, my prayers, look in favor at my pain. Hear and act, don't delay, for I bear your name." And I just love those 4 sentences that she talked about. And it was called 4 sentences in my email that I had gotten, so you may have that. But I just wanted to say that God does not like gambling, that when he was going up to the temple, people were selling their chickens and different things, goats, and he actually went in and tipped tables over because he was upset that they were selling things on the way to the temple. And then there was some gambling that was going on, and he tipped those tables over because he wasn't happy that there was gambling going on. So I don't want to do anything to upset Jesus or God. I don't know about you, but I fear their wrath. So I don't want to do anything to upset them. So if they don't like gambling, I'm not going to go gamble. And it took me finding this in my devotions today to realize, whoa, no more lottery tickets. He's telling me, save that income. You might be able to catch some bills with it, and you might be able to help tie to the church. So those are the things that he's directing me to. So with that being said, I'm going to clip this off because I have to get ready to go to an appointment. I got to get some lunch rummaged up for my brother when he gets in so we can get to his next appointment. So pray that he gets home safe because lights are out around here with the storm that we had coming through. So um, pray to everybody that you stay safe on the roads today and that you get home safe to your family, and whatever struggles you're going through, please turn it over to God. You know, cast your burdens over to him. He wants them. But I do know that he also applies abundantly, as he said in that thing about gambling, that when you tie to the church or to, helping others or the church, definitely the church, he will let you have an abundant life. And I believe that's true because my parents never had to struggle for their bills. And when I was going to church with them, I never had to struggle. And I was tying to the church. So I think there is a message in that. And since I haven't been going to church and tying, I've had to really struggle. So you know what's going to happen this Sunday after I watch Joel? I'm going to find out when the church services are, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to sit in the back pew and I'm going to tie to the church, whatever little I have. If it's $4 or $5, I'm going to do it. Just so God knows that I'm making an honest effort to put something in that collection plate for him. Okay, so everybody have a good one, and I'll be doing another video clip a little later, okay?